So this is Briana. She's my patient, and she has a diagnosis of IIH, or Idiopathic Intracranial Hypertension. So Briana, what was the first symptom you had of this problem? Like, how did you first come to seek medical care for this issue?
Headaches were the first symptom. The headaches began kind of mild and slowly escalated to really, really unbearable conditions. And then I realized that my vision was being impaired to some sense. And when I would get up and walk around from like one part of the living room to the next, I noticed maybe like it would go black for a few seconds.
It must have been very, very scary.
It was very scary. And
so who did you go see first when you started to have these
I went to
symptoms?
my regular doctor in Staten Island, who very calmly told me that I should go to the emergency room because he saw some inflammation in the optic nerve, I believe he said, and he wanted to rule out that it wasn't like a brain tumor or maybe something worse. So he sent me to the emergency room. They did a few tests there, and
It must have been very scary.
It was
going through this.
It was very traumatic, to say the least.
Yeah.
In this whole time, I was also still kind of losing more and more vision. I also then had some buzzing and ringing and sensations in the ears, and it kind of became like a swirling, swishing sound in my head, and it got so bad to a point that if I was laying down for a while on one side of my head, and then I would switch to the other side of the head, I would actually feel the liquid and the brain, like in my brain, like moving to the other side.
Oh, wow.
It was
that I've never heard before.
Insane.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so you had the MRI, and luckily it was okay. It didn't show a tumor.
The MRI said fine, right?
Yeah.
It was fine.
And then the next step was to do a spinal tap, right?
So it was a few steps before that.
Okay.
Then I came here, and I saw one of the residents, and I saw you. It's such a blur, really.
And we started.
Because I was in so much pain,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't see. The first time I came to this office, I had glasses on, I had a hat on, light was bothering me, sounds were bothering me. I mean, I literally had to tell my mom and my boyfriend to like not talk around me for, I don't know, however long that was. We all decided that I needed a spinal tap to relieve the symptoms. And from that point that we decided, and you guys sent in an ambulatory order for me to have the spinal tap, it took 9 days. So I got to suffer for 9 days at home. They wanted to make sure I really, really wanted that spinal tap at that point. And at that point...
we do need it for diagnosis, also to make sure that it's not just high pressure, but it's not an infection like meningitis or something like that.
Got it. So there was stuff going on behind the scenes. Okay, fine.
I
I wasn't being neglected.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah. And then finally I went, and it was a beautiful experience because I had reached out to I put it on social media that I was having a spinal tap, and I wanted to know who had it and if they, could tap in about it. And it was scary. Everyone's, responses were very scary. And I'm here to tell you it wasn't scary. They used a x-ray machine to really know specifically where they were going into the spine. So it wasn't like a jabbing and a guessing game. And
that's really the best way to do it.
Yeah, and he talked me through it.
Guided.
Exactly.
And so it's more very precise. It's not, like you said, it's not just a blind stick.
Right. And because people experienced that and shared about that, and I can see how that could be traumatizing. And so I had less pain after having the spinal tap. I mean, they have you lay down for a while, and it was all less pain already from the second they took out that fluid. It was way better. So I was happy, and I knew it was going to just get better from that point. And then from then on, I came, to your office. And
so there was a period when we were really worried about your vision. And after the spinal tap, we started you on the medication. So
I was even on the medication before the spinal tap. Right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But it didn't help until you had the spinal
We just kept increasing my meds slowly, making sure I was okay with it, I could handle it, and then,
So we used Diamox, which is acetazolamide. Do you remember what dose you were on, the highest dose you were on?
I was on 4 pills twice a day.
Okay.
So that was 2,000 milligrams twice a day.
So that's basically the maximum
Yes,
dose,
yes.
which is 4 grams a day.
And I also, my body went into metabolic acidosis.
Yes.
So I was
But
on,
we tried to balance that because you
Yeah.
needed the medicine, you were responding to the medicine, but we also needed to balance some of the side effects.
Right.
And did that help kind of when we put you on
Yes.
sodium bicarbonate and everything?
yes,
Okay.
for a while it was also really scary because then now I had shortness of breath and I could barely lift my arms to shampoo my hair in the shower, and showering was a task, you know, everything was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
You really kind of have to balance like the risks and the benefits of treatment.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you stuck with it because it's really what helped you a lot.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other thing that really helped you a lot. So let's talk about weight. So tell us about your weight before this all started and what you were already planning
Yeah.
and kind of what's been happening since.
So weight is something I've always struggled with my whole life, and after seeing my mom and my aunt and a few friends of mine go through the bariatric weight loss process, I started considering it for myself, and it's the best thing I ever did. I had started that process before undergoing this whole ordeal, and actually I had to postpone my surgery because of this whole kind of hiccup, if you will. But it also was perfect timing because it's just everything always works out perfectly.
So even
but
before the surgery, you had already started to lose weight, right?
yeah, well, with your guidance, you gave me some other medicine also to kind of curb my appetite. And I mean, I was in so much pain, I really wasn't eating so much also. But just with the combination of the drugs and just like the mindfulness around the importance of losing weight and and the benefit of it, and knowing that was my goal to begin with also.
Mm-hmm.
So the combination of like, this is it, this is go time. You know.
So what weight were you at before you had the bariatric? Let's say, okay, before...
At my heaviest weight, I was 252.
252. And this is before the IIH diagnosis
Yes.
came about.
Yes.
And then what weight were you at right before you had the surgery? So from 252, how much did you lose before the surgery?
I think it was about...
Like approximately.
I think like 15 pounds,
Okay.
maybe 10 to 15
Yeah.
pounds.
So oftentimes when people are, overweight, we usually recommend a weight loss of about 6 to 10%. So you were already on your way to losing that 6 to 10% of your weight, of your maximum weight, and you were already showing a lot of improvement with the weight loss plus the medication. But you wanted to go further, right?
Yes.
You'd already planned this before the
Yeah, this
diagnosis.
was-
So then you lost. How much have you lost since your bariatric surgery?
It's what is the math?
Almost 120.
Yeah, almost 120 pounds.
Wow.
now.
And how do you feel?
I feel amazing. I do. I feel like I have a new lease on life. I feel like I have a lot of energy, and I feel healthy, and I feel like I'm not obsessing over what I'm eating every day, all day. Like the mental freedom that I have from this surgery is priceless.
It's amazing. Yeah, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You are like a new person. I
Yeah,
remember when you
thank
first
you.
came in and, aside from having the symptoms of IIH, you were also
Yeah.
very anxious about everything going on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You just seem so much more relaxed now.
Oh, yeah.
And happy and full of energy and
I feel that,
it's like
yeah.
you're a new person. So
Thank you.
you've done so well. I'm really proud of you and you did the work.
Thank
you
you.
really did the work. So congratulations on
Thank
everything.
you.
And by the way, your vision is amazing right now. Your nerve swelling is completely gone. No more papilledema. I think she started out with what, grade 4, grade 5. So you started out with one of the highest level of nerve swelling that we usually see, and now you have none whatsoever, and you've been that way for a while. And you came off of Diamox
Yeah.
completely. You went back on it for some headaches, which I think are now more migraine type headaches. So we'll stop the Diamox and put you back on Topamax just to kind of control those headaches. But you've done incredibly well, and
Thank you so much.
your vision is great. Your headaches are better, and yeah, you're doing amazing. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.